If you grew up playing Need for Speed or watching Fast Furious, you already know this car. The Toyota Supra, a machine that turned gamers into dreamers and dreamers into racers. But how did it go from a humble Celica to a global icon? Let's find out. This is the evolution of Toyota Supra. Long before the Supra became a thunderous legend, it was a quiet ambition, a dream taking shape. Its cradle was the wildly popular Toyota Celica. It was the late 70s. The world was recovering from the oil crisis, but the hunger for speed hadn't gone anywhere. Toyota, having already won hearts with reliable sedans and nimble Celicas, envisioned something greater, a true grand tourer. A car longer, more powerful, more luxurious one that could look European and American sports coupes straight in the eye. And so, in 1978, the first swallow of the legend was born, the Celica Supra. In essence, it was an evolution of the Celica liftback, but executed with surgical precision. The wheelbase was stretched, and under the hood for the first time in the lineup came the defining hallmark of future Supras, the inline six. Debuting with a 2-liter engine producing 110 horsepower and a 2.6-liter with 123 horsepower. Modest numbers by today's standards, but back then it was a breath of freedom. Imagine the smooth pull of 6 cylinders instead of the rattle of a 4, that deep, throaty growl. It wasn't just more power, it was a step into an entirely new class of sensations. On the outside, a recognizable Celica, but on steroids. A long, proud nose hiding that very inline six, a unique grille, different headlights, and of course, the Supra badge. Inside reigned luxury, leather, wood, electronic instruments, a rarity back then, even a Rolls-Royce-style clock. The goal was clear, to create not just a sports car, but a true Gran Turismo gentleman, comfortable on the highway, elegant by the restaurant. It wasn't yet a wild turbo beast or a racing glory. It had a simple rear suspension instead of an independent one like its rivals. But in this firstborn beat the heart of a future legend. It shouted Toyota's intentions to the world. "We are building a world-class 6-cylinder coupe." They put it straight on the track against the king of the time, the Datsun 280Z, the crafty rotary-powered Mazda RX-7, and even some Europeans. It was like a talented teenager. The potential was obvious, but the star achievements were still ahead. These were the origins, not the thunder of victory, but a confident first step. Not yet a street icon, but without exaggeration, a promise of the power to come. The seed of a legend had been planted. 1981. The world was entering the era of synth-pop and sports cars with angular bodies, and Toyota took a decisive step. The second generation was born, the Supra A60. It was a moment of truth, the moment when the Supra finally stepped out of the shadows, shed the Celica badge from its rear, and declared, "I am a legend in my own right." The engineers didn't just refine the platform, they reimagined the concept. The A60 received a noticeably longer wheelbase, significantly widened track, and a bold angular design that screamed the 80s. Iconic pop-up headlights, a sleek fastback, sharp-edged bumpers, and sculpted sides all created a look far more aggressive and cohesive than its predecessor. Inside, a revolution in comfort and technology, greatly improved ergonomics, supportive seats with enhanced lateral support, and futuristic, a digital instrument cluster, and electronic climate control. This was no longer a luxury Celica variant. It was a next-level GT sports car. Under the hood reigned naturally aspirated inline sixes. The base was a 2.8L engine producing 125 horsepower, hitting 0-100 kilometers h in 10.5 seconds. But the star was the newest 2.8-liter engine with mechanical fuel injection delivering 145 horsepower. This engine, especially paired with the 5-speed manual gearbox, gave the A60 a truly sporty character. Acceleration to 100 kilometers h dropped to around 8.59 seconds. A very respectable figure for a heavy 80s GT. Later, 2L versions with 125 HP appeared for markets with strict tax regulations. The key was balance. The A60 offered enough excitement for enthusiasts while remaining an exceptionally comfortable and practical daily driver. The A60 generation laid the foundation for the Supra's sporty reputation. Although turbos hadn't arrived yet, the engineers instilled a sporty DNA. For the first time, fully independent rear suspension. For the first time, rack and pinion steering. For the first time, powerful ventilated disc brakes on all wheels. Sport packages added stiffer springs and stabilizers, plus the signature rear spoiler with an integrated brake light. This Supra no longer just challenged the Datsun 280ZX, Mazda RX-7, or Pontiac Firebird. It commanded respect for Japanese engineering. It proudly wore the name Supra on the trunk lid with the slogan in Japan, "Pride and Action." By the mid-80s, the Supra A60 had matured. It had fully shed the skin of an experiment and the stretched Celica. This was a confident, technologically advanced, stylish, and fast grand tourer with a Japanese soul. It didn't just lay the foundation for the turbo era, it shouted that the potential was immense and that the next chapter would be explosive. The era of turbocharging was already on the horizon. 1986. The world hungered for technology and speed, and Toyota responded with the third generation, the Supra Ascendente. This was not just an evolutionary step, but a giant leap. The Supra had fully transformed into a luxurious, high-tech grand tourer, embodying all the ambitions of Japan during the economic miracle era: comfort, innovation, and finally, true turbo fury came together in one package. The A70 generation went down in history. For the first time, a turbocharged engine appeared under its hood. The flagship 3-liter unit produced 230 HP. This engine changed everything. 0-100 kilometers in a bold 5.5 seconds. It instantly made the Supra a terror on the track, outpacing many renowned rivals off the line. It became a symbol of the era. Its turbo hissing and characteristic whistle became music to enthusiasts' ears. Toyota didn't just create a fast car. They built a true all-around sports machine. The foundation was fully independent suspension, front and rear. For the first time in Supra history, an electronic damper control system was available 3 modes, from comfort to sport, at the touch of a button. Brakes were powerful ventilated discs on all wheels, often with 4-piston calipers up front. At the pinnacle of technology was the optional full active steering system. Rear wheels turned slightly, making the heavy Supra incredibly agile and responsive at speed. The aluminum-intensive body was stiffer and lighter. This was not just a straight-line accelerator. It mastered corners with precision. By the early 90s, the A70 had firmly established the Supra in the top tier. It battled on equal terms with the new Nissan 300ZX, Mazda RX-7, and even the Porsche 944 Turbo. It was no longer a Japanese car trying to be European. It had become the benchmark for a technologically advanced, powerful, and comfortable GT from the East. The A70 represents the golden mean of the Supra's evolution. It cemented its reputation, breathed in the turbo spirit, and showed the world that the Supra was ready for the absolute pinnacle. It was the final act before the arrival of the king. The power, technology, and ambition of the A70 shouted, "Just wait and see what's next." 1993. The world didn't yet know that a king had just been born. Toyota unveiled the 4th generation, the Supra A80. This was not just a new sports car. It was a shot that would forever change the landscape of performance and pop culture. An engineering triumph, built to go head-to-head with the Porsche 911 Turbo and Ferrari 348 on their turf and win. Stopwatches held their breath in anticipation. At its heart beat the legendary 2JZ, a naturally aspirated inline-6 with 220 HP. But the true deity was the 3-liter twin-turbo 2JZ GTE, officially rated at 267 HP. Why did it become iconic? Cast iron block, forged connecting rods, oil-cooled pistons. The strength reserve was insane. Stock 0-100 kilometers. H acceleration stunned. 5 seconds for the 6-speed manual version. This was the sacred 4-second threshold for a heavy production GT speed previously reserved for $500,000 supercars. The A80's design is frozen speed. The era of pop-up headlights was over their place, taken by sleek fixed units integrated into an aggressive nose. A wide, low-slung silhouette with a signature double-bubble roof and massive integrated spoiler shouted its intentions. Aerodynamics worked flawlessly. The interior was a masterpiece of ergonomics and driver-centric design. Perfect seating position, instruments oriented toward the driver. The MK phenomenon went far beyond auto shows. The Fast and the Furious turned Paul Walker's orange Supra into a symbol of an entire generation. Video games made it a virtual dream. And the tuning scene, oh, that was a religion of its own. The 2JZ GTE, with its unbreakable block, became a canvas for engineering madness. Turbo swaps, intercoolers, chip tuning, and suddenly, 500-700 horse-P on stock iron. Extreme enthusiasts pushed it to 1-0-1 500, even 20+ horsepower, turning the Supra into the ultimate drag racing monster. 2002, the production line in Tahara came to a halt. The last Supra 80 rolled off the line, and the world officially lost an icon. But the paradox was that this marked the beginning of its greatest triumph, transforming into an undying cult legend. The fame of the A80 didn't fade. It burned brighter than 1,000 horsepower. The A80 became the holy grail, an object of almost religious worship. Tuners pushed the 2JZ GTE to unimaginable extremes. 500, 1, 0, even 1, 500 HP, the cast iron block, and forged internals forgave everything. It reigned in drag racing, dominated drifting Formula D, and shone at car shows. Every surviving Supra Turbo became either a work of art or a weapon of speed. The phrase 2JZ, no shit, became a mantra, and the meme, it's a Supra. It's a Supra! Went viral as a symbol of legendary recognition. Rarity bred madness. Prices for clean, low-mileage examples, especially turbo versions, with a 6-speed manual, soared to astronomical heights. Over 200, 0. From just a used sports car, the Supra became an investment piece, a status symbol for the chosen few. Car meets turned into pilgrimages to witness a living legend. Online forums buzzed with discussions of modifications, parts hunting, and ownership stories. The Supra became more than a car. It became a cultural icon, a symbol of unyielding engineering power, tuning mastery, and nostalgia for the golden era of JDM. By the mid-2010s, the Supra had achieved the status of an automotive deity. Its appearance at any event drew crowds. Rumors of its revival circulated constantly, growing with incredible details. Every Toyota auto show was met with the question, where's the new Supra? The anticipation became almost tangible. Fans felt that the legend simply could not fail to return. 2019, the roar of the turbos returned. After a long 17 years of waiting, rumors, and teasers, Toyota unveiled the 5th generation, the Supra and 980. The legend was reborn. The platform, developed jointly with BMW for the Z4 G29, sparked controversy. Where's the pure Japanese blood? Purists asked. But Toyota's engineers kept strict control over the essentials: chassis tuning, steering feel, and electronic systems. The recipe, proven for decades, remained: engine up front, power to the rear wheels, perfect weight distribution, and most importantly, under the hood beats the magnificent B58 Turbo Inline-6 from BMW, already worshipped by tuners. 0-100 kilometers. H takes a fantastic 3.9 seconds. The design of the 980 is a controversial yet bold ode to its history. The double bubble roof? Check. Muscular rear fenders and an aggressive nose with massive air intakes? Check. Integrated spoiler? Check. But the interpretation is entirely modern, edgy, angular, and daring. The tuning scene welcomed the 980 with open arms. The B58 engine carries on the unbreakable philosophy: an iron block, forged crankshaft. Even a simple Stage 1 tune delivers around 450–480 HP, while extreme builds easily push past 700–800+ horses on the stock block. The return of the Supra is a triumph. It doesn't try to blindly copy the past. Instead, it takes its DNA speed, innovation, and pure driving thrill, and reimagines it for a new era. The 980 is not just a German in Japanese clothing. It's the Supra as it's meant to be today. Incredibly fast, packed with technology, full of emotion, with insane potential and the undying spirit of JDM. The legend hasn't just returned, it's writing its story anew, and this chapter promises to be no less breathtaking. So, what is the Supra today? It's more than just a car. It's a symbol of Japanese engineering fearlessness, a symbol of unwavering loyalty to the ideal of speed, a symbol of a dream that never grows old. In the end, the Supra isn't about specifications. It's about us, about our passion, our nostalgia, our drive for something greater than just the road from point A to point B. It's a legend that refuses to die, a story we write together with every turn of the wheel. And as long as the fire burns in the hearts of those who believe that a car is not just transport, but an extension of the self, as long as there are those who seek not just a road, but their road, the legend will always have a place to live.